Creatives have to feel that they can be creative and that they can become famous and that they can do the kind of job they want to do in radio in the same way that they can do in the other medium. And I think that's still hard, partly because not very many agencies can make money doing radio because the expenditures are low. That is part of one of the things that I say in my workshop is that the way that radio has marketed itself as being a fast and cheap medium. Fast and cheap isn't something that agencies really like. Fast means they don't have any fun. Cheap means they don't make any money. And if you can't have fun and you don't make any money, what's the point? So I think radio has to kind of maybe radio needs to have a bit more pride in itself and think of itself as a medium for brands, not just for cheap local advertising as well. But my point of view and the reason for these seminars and the reason it seems for the need to be seminars. I've done radio for art directors now. I'm here in Miami. This is my 14th country in 2006. And what that says to me is that there is a need all over the world for people to learn the skills of radio because television has just become so seductive and all of the visual media have become so seductive and nobody is teaching radio that radio has simply fallen behind. You're right to say that it is very, very easy to do technically great audio. In the same way, it is relatively easy, it's very easy to do technically wonderful high-definition visuals. It just takes more money. But the tools are there. But the interesting thing that's happened with the advance in visual, is that you can look at a television commercial and say, my God, that is so stunning and beautiful and high definition, and it's got flame and inferno and all this kind of stuff, but it's a crap idea. But it looks wonderful. Problem with radio is that the crap ideas don't look wonderful. The crap ideas remain there because you don't have that same number of tools in your toolbox in radio as you have in visual. So what's happened is that all of the thinking seems to have gone into the visual medium. And the thinking is absent from a lot of the radio. So it has not to do with the technology. It has to do with the brain power. One of the things that happen as I travel around, I see that some of the emerging nations, where they don't have huge amounts of money to throw onto the screen, they have to do more. They have to do more with less in that sense. But they have to come up with great ideas. In every region, the vast majority of advertising isn't very good. And then there's a small bit of advertising that's pretty good, and a tiny, tiny bit of advertising is very, very good. The bigger the region, the United States, has more very, very good spots because it has more very, very bad spots. Because it simply has more. You can tell why radio is big in this market, because the radio stations talk to people like people. That's the reason that radio survives is that why do people listen to radio? For company. They just want people to talk to them. They want people to talk to them in their language as though they are friends and they're people that they can trust, and they don't want to listen to somebody who's speaking to them as though they're a foreigner. They want to speak. They want that intimacy that you get from a radio station in your own culture, in your own market. The main facts about radio, and this comes from research in the UK, but as I said, I've been this year in 14 countries, 25 in all of these trips, and I've never found anywhere where it was any different. People use radio for company, they listen alone, and they listen to the same 2 or 3 radio stations at the same time every day, over a long, long period of time, and they're doing something else while they're doing it. They're driving, they're ironing, they're putting furniture together, they're making love, they're doing any number, so that in order for that radio station just simply to be part of their lives, there has to be an intimacy that says, I can be welcomed into your car, into your living room, into your bedroom, and that imposes something on advertisers which very few of them actually do. Saludos a mis amigos del círculo.